This was 1,104 on the builder's list, and we put it back into Golden Hawks colors after an extensive renovation. The Sabre itself, by all who flew it before, has been far and wide praised as a beautiful flying aircraft and a fighter pilot's fighter aircraft. So I'd like to show you a couple of neat things about our Sabre. One thing that was brought on later on in the Mark series of Sabre is this leading edge wing that has this slat or a drooped leading edge, if you'd like. It is purely mechanical. It comes down on rollers based on the air pressure on the wing. There's no lever in the cockpit, there's nothing that the pilot does, and this really allows us to land the aircraft a little bit slower. It allows us to take off sooner, and it allows us to turn it better once we're up in the flight. And you can see that the rollers on this are very light. If I push it in, it'll stay there. If I give it a little tug, it'll just fall out all on its own. They are just a thing of absolute beauty. The wingtip beyond the slat, I'll walk us out here. This wingtip is actually about a foot longer than the Canadian Sabres originally were. So this is actually an American F-86 F-40 modified wing, and that came to be as this aircraft was exported to the States. They had a landing accident with it and felt the need to replace the wing. And when they did so, they picked the wing that they had, which was an American wing. Essentially identical right out to about the edge of the leading edge right here, and then the last little bit is unique to what would be an American Sabre. For us, we chose to keep that wing and did all the calculations to prove what loadings we could fly to and what speeds, and we've found very little difference between this and the performance of a traditional F-86 Mark 6 in Canada. So a neat little piece of trivia for you. Otherwise, another major modification on the aircraft is the business end, is the ejection seat. The original Martin Baker ejection seat that was in here was a catapult system, and that was the original variant of ejection seats. They had a big, huge charge that literally blew the pilot out of the cockpit. So a very abrupt increase in acceleration for the pilot often injured the pilot and didn't give great separation. As ejection systems matured, they were designed with a rocket as well as an explosive to initially get it going, or a ROCAT system that was 2 stages. And that allowed the overall force, the impulse that you need to get out of the aircraft, to be spread over a little bit more time. And by spreading that over a little bit more time, we got more altitude for the pilot, a safer separation, and less instantaneous force on the pilot's spine as he gets shoved out of the cockpit. So for us, the challenge was what to replace the old seat with in order to have something that was a little bit more modern. And we actually found that the Tudor ejection system, same aircraft that the Snowbirds fly, that seat was just a wonderful fit for us. It required very little modification on our part to the cockpit environment in order to fit that seat in here. And we actually fly it with the exact same life support equipment and the same pickups and leads and locations as you would if you stepped into a Tudor aircraft. And that allowed us to not have to do test ejection shots, real shots, in order to clear this seat. All we did was put it in, document the structural and physical human environments of the cockpit environment, and then did testing of reach and form, fit and function, and what we're going to wear and all those kinds of things. But overall, it became a fairly straightforward modification, and one we're very proud to fly around in a seat still supported by the Canadian Forces, and to their good graces that they were able to support us in this endeavor.